do have a quorum. I would ask that you turn off your electronic leashes, or at least turn them down. Would you all stand while Mary Lou leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will move to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Second.
Take a second, okay. Any further discussion, concerns, modifications? Kent?
Yeah, the minutes correctly reflect what I had said about new business under the sign. But I sent you that message that wakeboarding is allowed.
Yes.
I included wakeboarding and it should not be, and so that's not reflected in the minutes, but it should be noted somewhere that that was an error on my part. Everyone defines wakeboarding differently, but the true definition is wakeboarding can be done.
Is
It's just
lines
surfing
on
that
it?
cannot be done. No ballast, no plowing, etc. So I don't know if you need to change these minutes, Mary Lou, but I just would like that reflected in these.
It's best that we change them, since,
Well, I didn't, just remove wakeboarding.
yeah, just remove wakeboarding.
And then the other thing is, we talked about, the red flag being no wake. I'd also like to see us put somewhere that remind the community that it's no wake within 100 feet of the shore everywhere, including the dam, because I see people roaring past the dam and putting waves in there, and that's why we have that riprap. But I still don't think it's healthy for our dam. So you might want to put something, even in the newsletter. Maybe I'll bring it up later in the newsletter.
Yeah, bring it up later. I think the newsletter is probably better, less than the minutes.
Yeah, just remove wakeboarding. Thank you.
Anything else? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. I want to mention at this point that during the voting, if we vote and it's verbal and there is a opposition, then we will have to re-vote with a show of hands. Just so we make sure we know what the vote actually is. When there is no opposition, no reason to do. Financial quarterly comparison.
Yeah, I printed out something like close to 20 copies right there on the corner of the table. And everybody here on the board has a copy. It's the third quarter, April, May, and June. And two things kind of note. After, operating cash going down slowly, it bumped back up in June. And same way with accounts receivable, it was moving down, slowly down to 325 in May, and then in June it almost doubles to 750. So it's just counting if people have to pay. Even I'm in there. I paid them early in July or something. So a couple weeks late, but anyway, it jumps back up, similar to last year. I did make a mistake and I copied it black and white instead of color. I have the only color one. The top line is this year and the bottom line is last year's comparison. Other than that, we have about 1.4.
So this is receivable, this is might be received, or this is our balance?
This is our balance. Yeah, this is, there's three different categories. Ops cash, which is stuff we're supposed to spend, and then reserve goes up pretty slowly. So I don't bother putting that on the graph. And then the accounts receivable, you can see it's slowly going down and then it jumps up.
It does every year,
Yeah.
but we have more money this year than we did last year at this time.
Yeah, we almost the entire time, almost this entire year, we've been running quite above last
Is it
year.
spending less?
Yeah, I guess so. We're spending less. Yeah. We could put a huge thing in on the roads or something and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that might hit, at some point.
No, I think it's okay.
We need that.
But
We
yeah,
need the money because we're gonna have some big expenses.
Yeah,
so,
I've got too much Scott's blood in me to want us to put big things out when I don't know for sure how much money I've got.
yeah. So anyway, that's the third quarter, April, May, and June.
If I could just say something here, that excess money was money that the past board was holding to do security improvements and put that natural leak treatment in, or start to. So it wasn't just, out of the blue by accident that's there, and that represents most of the difference between the run rates from year over year.
The water, to me, we'll go on to that another thing, but I thought the water was very clear this weekend.
I need a motion to approve financials.
I make a motion to approve the finances.
I second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. ACC July Committee Report, unapproved project update.
Not really enough. So we continue to receive significant numbers of project requests almost monthly. The vast majority of them get approved. I continue to receive completely unsolicited, very positive feedback regarding the electronic submission system. They can put all of their application in through and upload all their papers and everything, and then it's kind of a hidden advantage is when we cleaned out the office back there, we got rid of all kinds of old blueprints and all kinds of old records, and so I'm trying to find something out about something that was done a few years ago, and there's no way. Well, with Vantica, we have a permanent record forever, so the electronic is going to be great. One thing that would be very helpful is if we could get the project request form back on the website. I don't think it's there now. I don't know how that happens or what has to happen. But people are having to come here and get a form, or we email it to them. It'd be a lot easier if they could just get it.
That form should have.
You have any idea what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that form should have been converted on the CPM side. Because I don't.
Maybe I need, okay.
Let me check, because before I pulled any of the forms, I made sure all of
Well,
them.
I've been sending people to the website, so I'll do that differently. Hey, can you show me how to?
Yes.
Okay. And then I guess the one thing I would ask about is my understanding is boring is more expensive than road cuts, but it's got to be better for our roads. But I know nothing about boring, so I would ask people from the roads committee or something to tell me, what do I need to know, or what do we need to tell people? It seems like it's a no-brainer to approve it, but there has to be some kind of requirements, like how deep it is, or how much, I would think it'd be better for the roads than a road cut, but I don't know anything about roads, so.
Boring tends to be better when you have a lot of topsoil. However, in Jefferson County, we have about anywhere from 2 to 10 inches of topsoil and
When you
solid
say,
rock.
what do you mean by better? Better, less
Less,
expensive?
less
probably more-
damage to the road.
So do we?
If you have the depth that you can get between the road and the bedrock, it often is better. If you have to go through the bedrock, then it becomes very expensive.
Well,
That's my understanding.
it's not our expense, but the builders are asking, hey, can we bore rather than do a road cut? And I don't know. I would look for some information from somebody that knows more about roads than me.
So I bored when I put the sewer in on this first house on Collins, the one I lived in for several years there. But we had to dig, I think it was about 5-foot holes on each side, and then they put the boring through.
Sure.
So my personal opinion is they can price it both ways, and I'm not opposed to boring, as long as they have the right equipment that they can bore through bedrock. You know,
I mean, that's on them. I just want to know what it costs and where they get the equipment is, I'm just saying, they want to know if they can bore rather than do road cuts.
I'm not opposed to it, as long as they know exactly where the utilities are and all that. You know, whenever they hand dig in, they're supposed to go in, and if their utilities close, they're literally supposed to hand dig to get to the wire, so they get a visual on that wire. But I'm not opposed to them boring.
I think they're putting sewer and water through it. I don't think they put.
But there is electric running
Yeah,
through
there's
those
conduits
roads
all along
outside,
the
a
road.
lot of them. So you just have to know.
Do you have a depth requirement you want?
Well, don't you think that boring would have to be 3 feet because of the freeze?
An engineer has to decide that. I'm not. We've burrowed before. They're all over the place.
Okay,
And they get
so we're good with it. There's no,
I don't
do we
see
have
any
any
problem.
requirements or standards or anything? Does anybody knows that? Because I haven't seen any, I've looked.
I mean, I still think they need an engineer helping them with this. Not
Okay, but Rain Tree, does Rain Tree have any specifications, requirements?
As far as I know, we do
Guidelines.
not have any
Okay.
specifications on board.
Perfect.
And I will research it some more to see if there's any additional downsides other than going through the bedrock. But I don't believe there are.
Okay,
It's gotta be done through the utility company. I mean,
Yeah.
they approve it.
okay.
Sewer, water, electric, everyone's not gonna look at that, but that's.
That's fine with me. The builder just asked if they
Yeah.
can do it, so they probably have experience doing it.
Okay, I'm gonna stop here now.
Well, I'm done. I mean, I said,
No, I
My
understand.
fault, sorry.
We're not supposed to interact at this point.
oh, sorry.
And you don't think it's for, that there's a, there's no maps
Boring is only about that big, which is a lot better than,
that they cut for it. So, okay.
and most, well, there are a few companies that do road cuts that actually let them settle long enough and let the gravel get compacted and then fill them in properly. There are also a lot that were done where they threw the gravel in, put asphalt on it, and it dropped 3 inches in the next 6 months.
We get speed bumps and speed.
And we would prefer not to have that because that causes cracks and erosions on both sides of the road cut. So all in all, boring, it probably is less damaging. to-
Maybe advantageous or preferred. Okay. That's what I needed to know. Thank you.
Anything else?
I'm done.
Roads report.
So the asphalt people are working, they did a few patches on Ridgecrest. They're down to the left, working at the bottom of Cedar and Willow. And then once they get that done, I believe they'll be going to the right side of Ridgecrest and doing those roads, the second, third, and the road that goes towards Forest. Off the top of my head, but, and then working their way basically counterclockwise through the subdivision.
You want to mention about the culvert repair?
Yeah, so, there was a culvert repair about a month ago on Peachtree. We had a road collapsing, where the culvert was failing. We decided to go back to concrete. I think we talked about that at the last board meeting. So now we have one, literally 100-foot upriver, upstream from that. So we're going with concrete there as well. And that should be starting this week.
And it will be contingent upon the weather, and it will be a traffic nightmare until it is complete,
That's the main artery.
because there will be one way, they're going to do one lane at a time. But a lot of people don't like to wait. And you're gonna either have to wait or go into the ditch or run directly into somebody, so pick your battles. Hopefully we'll all have patience and work through it. There are other ways to get into the facility, and I would recommend utilizing those other ways. Since the visitor gates are at the back, we don't have many options.
Front gate for all of us that can, utilize the front gate. Hopefully this won't be long and painful, it'll be short and sweet, but it's still gonna be a nightmare. That's all I got for
Okay.
roads at this point.
Yes, sir.
I thought I was gonna talk about unapproved project for future, under new business.
That's fine, if you want to do it under.
I don't care, I just.
That's fine, we'll just do it under.
Okay.
Lakes and beaches.
Summer's moving along. We got security down at the beach. Everything seems to be going pretty good. Sherry hasn't had no issues. We haven't had to tow anybody. She's really a good person, works with, if people don't belong here, she makes them go back to the house and get a sticker or whatever. And we put fish in the lake in June. We put grass carp and golden shiners in the bottom lake and spring lake. And we put grass carp in all 4 lakes. And the campground and everything, we got our maintenance guy. The bathroom's been open all summer. We've had no incidences at all. Everything seems to be going good. We added a portable potty for another portable potty for July, the month of July, for the summer rush. And so other than that, everything seems to be going pretty good. And we've been having food trucks off and on at the beach. I don't know if people's been utilizing it or not. There seem to be, the beach people are happy.
Yeah.
So other than that, we're moving on.
You want to give an update on your project and
Well, we're still waiting for a hand pump to come in on for the ramp.
for the foot wash?
Well, yeah, we got the concrete poured, and we're waiting for the hand pump to come in to finish up the project and to build a bench. So other than
And
that,
it seems to be
working out
being
okay.
used.
And being used.
well.
The picnic tables get used a lot. And everybody's been picking up their trash, so we can't complain about that. It's been pretty good. The bin box is amazing. The kids love it. It's a mess in the morning sometimes. But it was one of the better things that happened to Raintree Beach. The kids love it. So that's a big positive. So I guess that's it for me.
Okay. Technology and security report.
Not too much from technology. I was gone for a minute, so we're going to start moving forward on some more of the projects. We've got John and a few others working through doing some due diligence and research on conferencing solutions. Me and Scott are going to get together and order some of the infrastructure here and get that started and built out. That's pretty much it from a technology. I don't have a whole lot for security.
We had a golf cart accident Saturday night on Gettysburg going down the hill, going north. It was no teenagers, it was adults, 3 adults, and the ambulance and the fire truck had to come. And I don't know if they did treatment. They had to get the golf cart off her and use the thing to cut the roof off the golf cart. And she was bleeding pretty bad. So, and I think there was alcohol involved. It was spread all over the road and everywhere.
And we have been
Blessed.
fixing the gates when they get
Yeah.
broken. We have had fewer down gates recently than in the past, which I think is a good thing. Whenever we try to do something that works a little better, they decide to try something that works to break it easier. We've had video of an individual that came in and was weightlifting the gate arm until
It goes up.
it goes up and stays up, and then he can drive his car through. So we will continue to try to replace and repair the gates as quickly as possible. That doesn't always happen. I try to stop and fix them whenever I see them down, but every time we think we're making progress, somebody comes up with a new solution to
And at the back gate of the kiosk, if you get a fast busy signal, that the kiosk is down. It needs to be reset. Every once in a while, they go, it'll be a real fast when you're trying to dial. And so you need to call the office and tell us because that has to be reset. It's an AT&T radio in there, and sometimes when it gets knocked offline. Other than that, train your people when they come, give them your 4-digit number, tell them how to type it in and push enter. Because normally it always works, except when it's the AT&T part goes down.
And I will remind everybody that it does not like iPhones. So if you have an iPhone, you need to repeatedly push 9. And this is a countrywide issue with this system. I'm not sure why they would have developed it that way, but it turns out that they did.
It's the 9 tone, it's the tone that Apple
The tone that it
put out
comes in.
for 9. If you hit it a bunch of times, we've never had a problem with it. You just have to hit it a bunch of times.
But, and people need to understand that they can't call you on your cell phone and then put the code in, because if your cell phone is busy, you cannot open the gate. I've had a few people sitting there with their cell phone in one hand punching in, and it's like, you know, you have to follow what it is, and it shouldn't be that difficult. Maybe it is more difficult when I look at it. But please, the people that are coming in, help them understand what to do. Yes, sir.
Scott, did you get the camera tied into the network yet?
No, you have a new one you need? No, Dan's working on it.
Okay.
The live stream with the weather station, Dan's working on it.
You signed that into the point for Bays, right?
Did he sign it in yet or not?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, I don't know.
I popped in.
I haven't talked to Dan for a couple of days.
Dan Oskalinski is our technical person that handles issues with the gates that become more than what we can handle with replacing bolts and knowing which buttons to push.
And one thing we are putting in, we talked about it last meeting, we're putting a live stream in down at the boat ramp. It's going to show a picture of the lake, and it's going to have a weather station tied to it. And then whenever there's a red flag and there's no way, somehow in the corner we're going to have a red flag in the camera so people don't have to call the office. They can just go to the web camera and look and see. And that's progressing along as Dan pushes it, so.
Anything else?
No maintenance.
All right, your maintenance report.
Well, we've been busy on maintenance. We've got John Mosley and Paul that's been working and trimming trees. I hope everybody's seen them out and see progress going. And Dave's got a project with the road. What do we have going on?
I just spoke about that. Yeah, there's a couple other things I'm gonna mention, but it's not about the road.
No, but the tree trimming.
Yeah, so on Column.
Right.
And also, so Column, we trimmed all the bushes down Column, they did. And we're trying to look at too, maybe bringing in another tree company. Just literally spend a week of taking out all the dead trees that you can see that's on Braintree.
Because Tilly's got some on common ground that she brought to our attention that needs to go with these ash trees. We've got the boar in them and they need to go.
The guy that I talked to is on vacation this week, and he'll be back in to meet with me next Monday.
And then on maintenance, I did talk to, it's called TRIM, it's a Missouri program to where they do non-for-profit, but we don't qualify, where they split the bill with you on these ash trees, where they pay for some and you pay for some, but we didn't qualify for that.
And we have taken some of the dead trees down, and I don't mind taking them down as long as the branches don't go up into the power lines. Dead wood is a very good conduit for electricity, and I prefer to have my hair not curled.
And I got one more thing in maintenance. On the spillway on Autumn Lake, there's a chain link fence. It's been there for 40 years. If you touch it, it's going to fall. The bottom's all rotted out. It's not safe. So I've been getting quotes on a guardrail, and we're going to put a guardrail up. I need to ask the board, we need to vote on that at this point, I think, or is that new business?
You need to make a motion.
So I need to make a motion. All the board members have a piece of paper showing $7,958 for 75 foot of guardrail, the kind they use on the highway, just like we have on Spring Lane. And it's going on both sides of the road on the bridge. And so I make a motion that we do that through DNS fence for $7,900, $7,958.
I'll second the motion. It's open for discussion.
Did we have other bids or?
Yes. So I went to Harmon's and Column and they wanted $5,000 for an engineering fee to start the bid. and they said it would be about $20,000 because of the height of the bid. There was a 30-foot fall between the top of the bridge, and so they made their price real high because of the risk that was involved. And I talked to the owner of that there, and he came out and looked at it, and they said they wanted a $5,000 engineering fee, and this company here works for the state of Missouri all the time, and they've done work for Raintree before. They put the other guardrail in.
And this guardrail would prevent golf carts and cars from going over the side. We're still going to have to work on the fence to make sure that pedestrians can't jump up on the guardrail and jump on the fence. And
Well, I think it's a good thing. I just, previously, whenever I run bids, I had to have 3 bids to approve these, so I don't know.
Well,
Is that
normally have
is that
three
still
bids.
required?
Well, I mean, you want me to pay $5,000 deposit to get a bid?
No.
That's
what I have to do. There's other companies.
Well, it's an emergency, I don't know what needs to be done, and that's,
So if you go down there, the poles that hold up the chain link fence are rusted through.
I showed him.
I agree 100% with it. I'm just saying,
I'm still in
I thought the procedure was we had to get at least 3 bids if we're gonna not do that.
I tried to get 2, and the guy wants a $5,000 deposit, and there's nobody else in the area. And I called another fence company, they came out and looked at it and never called me back. So I've got 3 contact people that I've contacted, and I've got two prices back. One was $7,900, one was $25,000. And one wanted a $5,000 deposit for an engineering fee before he gave me a bid
ENS does a ton of work.
for the state. So I put it out there to vote on. Because I feel it's an emergency and it's a big liability.
It's still out there.
I'm not arguing about the fence.
I understand.
I'm just saying, I thought the procedure was we had to have, if we're gonna.
We try to get
Follow
3
that.
bids, and we've contacted 3
Okay.
places with 2 bids.
And
So that would qualify as trying to get 3 bids.
All right.
One no responded, so.
No, they came, but never called back after they came.
Well, it would indicate that they don't want anything to do with it, so.
Are you gonna?
Further discussion.
Oh, never mind, I'm sorry.
Further discussion from the board. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Thank you. It's for the good of the community.
Let's see.
And again, if anybody has maintenance requests, tournament trees on common ground, turn them in. We've got 2 maintenance guys working 4 hours a day doing a good job. So we're just chugging
Scott, do you want to talk any about the
the new tool,
apparatus for
the tractor.
the tractor?
So as you know, everybody likes tree trimming. We turned in a request a few weeks ago and I got 40-something requests. We're on number 28. And through the process, we've been looking at how we could speed up our process. They have an attachment, it's like a sickle bar that goes on the front of our tractor. And you could drive down the road and trim the trees.
On the front
On the front of the tractor.
No,
And
on the front of the high.
on the front of the high lift, it goes on the front of the high lift. And you can go down along the road. They use them in wineries and big things and that, and then it's got a dual purpose. You could use it for like a ditch, then it flips down, it's like a sickle bar. And it goes up and down. And you just go along the road and trim the trees. It's made for trimming trees up real high that we can't reach that we're doing now. And I think it would be a good investment since we've been trimming trees. It's $2,300 and it fits on our tractor and it's hydraulic. It does not have a motor.
So we'll have to look in and evaluate some other options and get at least 2 more.
So that, okay, that'll work.
But we are looking to try to develop mechanisms to make it faster to get things done without bringing in an awful lot of expense. There are brush hog cutters on articulated arms that will reach up and cut, and you've probably seen along the roads where some of them have gone through. Those are very nice, but they're very expensive. And we probably don't have enough to keep that type of equipment operational.
For the price of the $2,300, I think that's a good run for your money. You know, 2 guys, that's.
And it's from Canada and it's called the Sabre. If anybody would want to look it up, it's a Sabre. It's called Sabre and it's a hydraulic attachment. And there's like one.
How big a limbs?
It's 1.5 inches.
Inch and a half.
inch and a half.
That's pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah, and it just,
And that's a lot safer and more efficient than standing in the back of the dump truck with a hedge trimmer trying to reach on it. Yeah. Anything else, Scott?
no, I think that's it.
I will say that Scott has been like the ever-ready bunny. He continues to keep going. He's the one that identified the culvert damage. So he's looking out for the community.
Well, somebody turns in a complaint on the pothole, and then when we filled the pothole, and then when the pothole started going down, within days, then I knew we had a problem, and then we looked
Then
into
you
it.
looked into
Then
it.
we looked into it more seriously.
Well, you could have just patched it again.
No, but it needs to be fixed right.
Culvert got delivered today.
Yeah, the culvert is down there and it's 3-foot concrete culvert, so it should last,
4.
what, it's 4 foot? It will last at least as long as I'm alive, and then I'm not gonna really care after that. No, seriously, if we would have put concrete culverts in that size when the subdivision was developed, we wouldn't be having these problems. But corrugated steel culverts have a lifespan of 15 to 20 years,
And we're at 40.
and we've doubled their life expectancy. So we're doing pretty good with that, but we will have others that will start to rust out, and once they start rusting, they will collapse. Old business. Kent, do you want to, no, you want to do business, I'm sorry. We are doing hopefully the final configuration of ballot items and the newsletter. Each of the board members has a copy. I would ask you to review it by Wednesday, end of day, at the latest, with any changes, modifications, or additions. Once Wednesday is over, we are going to have to vote on it electronically because we need to get it out. We can't wait until the next meeting because we don't have enough time to get it printed and get it out. Things have run a little slow this year in us trying to figure out how to work with each other and CPM and the changes that have been put in place, but we're making it through and I think we're making progress. But I would ask the board to please make sure you review it and comment no later than 5 o'clock on Wednesday.
So rather than just comment electronically, could I just ask a question? Because I did look at all this, and maybe I'm incorrect, but I thought that when we first talked about SUVs, side-by-sides, etc., I thought you said, Dave, that they were going to have the same restrictions as golf carts, which would mean they couldn't go more than 20 miles an hour. I distinctly recall you saying that, but I don't see that in here.
I would agree with that. Nobody needs to be ripping around if they have the luxury to use that machine to go to town or something. I would agree that they have to abide by it. Every rule that a car or anything else has to abide by.
And I would say that
But I don't
we
think
have
that, okay.
a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit, period.
Do you think that's implicit in this?
I mean, we could put the mile an hour. I mean, you
Well, I would
follow
say,
all
I
the
would
rules.
expand to all the same rules as golf carts, because that's what we talked about initially.
Then I'm fine,
I'm fine with it.
fine with that. But we do have a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit for all the vehicles that are on the road. That includes cars, trucks, and everything.
And I think the vast majority, the lion's share of people obey that, but there are some people who don't already. And I think side-by-sides and young drivers, it's going to be, I have a concern.
I doubt that we're gonna have a whole lot of young drivers on side-by-sides, because the people who own them probably are not gonna let their kids on, because they're, as a rule, a lot more expensive than your golf cart.
Well, also too, it even says in here, if you reread, if they lose that privilege, they're not just losing the privilege to that, they're losing the privilege to everything. So if they let their kid run down side by side at 40 mile an hour, there goes the boat stickers, the golf cart stickers, everything. Because that's the only way to keep it legit.
Okay, if you think, I mean,
All right, well, we'll put this speed in.
well, I think it should be, abide by the same rules that that cars, golf carts, every other vehicle has to, rather than just putting a speed limit in,
All right, put that in, we'll put that in.
including the speed limit or something.
Anything else, review it, digest it, make, suggestions, changes, whatever, but do it quickly.
And then can we, the 100 feet from the shoreline, can we get that?
We can put that in there
I don't
also.
know if this is the place to say that.
It'd be great if you type up and send what you want it to read. Because there's, just so everybody knows, there's that much space and a whole another page. This has to end on an even number.
So anybody can put together a report.
Article, anything you want in, we've got space to.
Yes, we've got some space to utilize it. We're gonna pay for the page anyway, so if you have something you wanna include in it, please, again, do it quickly. Anything that we can do to help inform the community of anything, I think is well deserved in the newsletter. So you may want to talk about ACC and whatever changes are and whatever. New business.
Well, if I can, I would like to just bring up, I'll say this at the beginning, I'm gonna say at the end, ACC is not, we're not the ACC police. The committee is not the police. We don't go around looking for infractions. But we do we inspect our projects regularly, and we had an incident where someone had an approved project and then did some additional projects, spoke to the person, said, hey, you didn't have approval to do these other projects, and their response was, well, I told you I was going to do them at the time, which lots of people tell us they're going to do projects after they get, first they're going to build a patio, then they're going to put on a deck, and then they're going to do this, and that's fine, but this person felt that that should all be covered under one project when there was no plans, there's no request for approval or anything. And so I said, well, the simple solution is just go ahead and, apply for the permits, and more than likely we'll approve them. The work's already been done and it looks okay, but haven't heard anything. And so, I want the board's opinion on, do we just let it go? Because if we set that precedent, we're just going to tell people you can do your projects if you want to, and you don't have to have a permit. But I don't know what the solution is to do a project that's not without approval. You sent out after the gentleman had been excavating in his boat slip, that, hey, all work done in this place has to be at least reviewed. It doesn't all require permits, but it has to be at least be reviewed, or there's a list of things that need to be reviewed. What do we do if someone says, yeah, I'm not gonna apply for a permit?
Well, the first thing we can do is we can send out a censure letter, and then we can fine them. And that's where I would start. And if they become more belligerent, the only options that we would have would be to go to the county and see if we could get support from the county. That the fact that they didn't submit plans for whatever it is they built with the county.
Not everything that we require a permit for requires a permit from the
I
county.
understand that,
Okay.
but there's going to be limited.
These things come up, and I'm not sure how to approach them. And I think the best decisions are made by committees, not by individuals, and that's why. So, what does the board think we should do going forward? Do I send you the information and somehow you can censure? I don't know how that works.
Well, the censures are put out by CPM, and you can either give it to me or you can bring it to the board and say, this is the situation, and the board can decide to send out a censure.
Okay. I don't know what the procedure is, that's what I'd like to know.
I'm not sure that there is a defined procedure. There used to be one, I think, within the ACC, where they would go out and put a halt on it, or...
You can do a stop work order.
Yeah, stop work order, but if it's already been done, you can't very well go out and say tear it down.
Well, I don't want the guy to tear it down, I mean, he's doing stuff to enhance his property and make the community nicer, but if I have to pay money to get my project done and this guy does his project without doing it, and the whole idea is the roads, right? We're trying, anything that any construction deposit that we don't refund, or any portion of it, it goes
Goes the road.
Well, actually, that's what the new ballot item is. It goes directly to roads, not the general fund. And that's the whole reason we're doing it, but I just wanted to have some direction from the board.
So I would think that you would bring it to the board, and this is an open discussion for the board. And we could decide to put a censure and put a fine on it.
Okay.
And if that doesn't work, then I'm not sure what the next step would be, but we will have to decide if there's any place we can go with the next step.
I think that one's got a daily fine after X amount of time. So it'll rattle the bill up pretty quick if you don't comply.
I'm a proponent of capital punishment, but it's probably not.
The simple solution is saying, I didn't realize that I didn't get all these approved. Here's an application, we'll review it.
And that settles it. You know, all he has to do is.
He has not
come in.
complied, I contacted him a couple weeks ago, and he hasn't.
So if he's not compliant with that, then we go to the next step.
How often does that come up when you're on the project that are active? Does it come up often or?
We find projects from time to time that are completed, but not often. But and some of them we just don't know about. People put in driveways and they put in gravel, which we all hate gravel, but they just spread gravel. We're not going to go and tell them, okay, you got to rake all that gravel back up. But I don't know. This was a much bigger and much more significant project. 2 projects. You know, I'm not trying to be a hard guy. I love that people are enhancing their home and helping the community along, but it's not right for him to pay a deposit and help fund the road repair and him not.
I think we're all supportive is that if it needs a permit, they all need to go get a permit,
That's right.
including ourselves and anybody else.
That's what I needed to hear. Thank you. That's all.
So I've got something I want to talk about real quick under new business.
Okay?
This has to do with our CPM, and I just want everybody to listen, real quick on this. So I bought a lot on the side gate, and I told the guy I'd give him $1,500 minus the country club fees. Ended up being like $1,250. But the reason why I want to bring this attention up is the guy walked home with $200 after closing. What I was unaware of is that even when somebody in here sells a lot, CPM charges them $400 and $20 for a condo cert, which why that's on there, I don't know for a lot. But I don't know how many transactions or how many people have sold a lot or a house or anything else in here. But this is an additional fee that CPM is charging that we all need to be aware of. And this is just another thing that I feel like that, it is in their contract that they can charge a fee, but nowhere has it been disclosed to us as a community of what exactly these fees are. And it hasn't been put out as a printed sheet that we all have. We never got an email on this. I felt so sorry for the guy that between the title fees, the CPM's $420, that I felt was wrong. And I'm still going to try to.
That's something that wouldn't happen in another real estate transaction anywhere else?
Not before CPM was involved, our office girls did the work.
I'm saying would it happen anywhere else in a real estate transaction?
So only if they've hired CPM. I have never ever seen another
So it doesn't happen
subdivision.
besides
Does
CPM.
not happen.
There was fees with city and village.
City and village, but how much were they? Minor?
I think at the time they were like 250.
Okay.
And
So-
CPM also itemized the documentation fees when you buy and or sell. So they charge additional fees there.
Okay. So I was unaware of City and Village, but I'm definitely scrutinizing the HUDs and stuff that were, I really looked at that close because the guy was walking home with so little. And it was on there, it was $420 to CPM alone between the two, a condo cert and their $400 fee for doing the background check to see if they owed money to Ranger. And that's what I feel like we're paying on the 140 grand a year. I know they have expenses out of that 140, but this I thought was irate for a lot. That's my first.
I was saying you do, but when we bought our house, there were so many fees, this fee, that fee, title search fee, there were so many fees. I was
The title
overwhelmed.
company fees
I was
have
overwhelmed.
also doubled in the last probably 4 years.
Yeah, I think everything.
But this fee, I was not happy to see that one. Just letting everybody know that.
They're not doing the real estate transaction,
No, they're not actually doing the transaction. The title company and the agents are.
right?
They should be doing this work, I think, with our office staff. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it doesn't need to be charged, especially on a lot. But even a house, I mean, all these extra fees add up to anybody. Nobody sees it until they're selling and moving out, because we're not seeing as much on the buy side. But the buy side may be the
We go to
same.
closing and they say, well, you owe all this money, like, for what?
It was only on the sell side on this transaction. So you don't figure it out until you're moving away.
You know what they charge per house?
They would be the same to my knowledge, but they didn't charge it on the buyer side, it was only on the seller side.
Yeah.
So, I know there was one other thing posted on Facebook a few months back, and this was the same thing, I was floored when I seen it. So,
Jim, that'd be a thing to have, discuss in your monthly meeting with them, just to explain it better, communicate it, but, I will share this. When the office staff did it, every owner in Raintree paid those dollars that that office cost us, or the seller moving out of here. So it was not, it's a very big misnomer if you think it was free, because that office was never free.
correct, but that was part of their daily job.
I would agree, that's part of what they did internally here.
And I would also argue the point too, we're paying for the service, so why are they charging that amount to our community when we are paying them? I just have a hard time reconciling.
That is not part of the kind of service contract we have.
That's
So that's outside of it, because it's not a everyday thing we do here, it's specific to somebody selling, to make sure the documentation is.
That should have been in the contract.
That is, in there.
It should have been negotiated correctly in the contract with that being clear.
And we should all be aware of what the fees they're charging, and not being caught off guard.
Shouldn't that have been voted on in the very beginning, before we even turned this over to that company? Shouldn't that have been voted on by the people?
I would think so, I think that's a big
I
decision.
think that was done like day two, when the new board took over, they just threw this over into this company, and then nobody had any say so about this.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Karen. I mean, we're trying to work with CPM, but some of us are still finding to get blindsided on the side to some of these.
Because that was not,
Dave, I'm not trying to argue with you. There's no reason for it to be one-sided. The contract has that in it, and it has the appendix of fees
Okay,
attached in
I
it.
have not seen the
that should have been voted on
Of
by the people.
CPM. If you have that, I'd love to see it.
They're on CPM's board. Hey, everybody's entitled to their opinion, there's nothing in the governing, that's the board's job as to what happened with that office. And the past board voted more than an entire.
How many years has it been that we had this done for Braintree and not sent over to someone else to?
40 years.
Yeah, 40 years is a long time, and then all of a sudden, it's sent over to where we can't see what's going on.
So,
And we did not get the vote on it as the people.
They only do what we tell them to do.
Well,
And they don't do anything we don't.
it's not that, you're right, I do remember seeing the fees on that last page. So I want to be more clear on the negotiation of the contract, is that it should have been asked the question of why are these being allowed to be charged to the customer? This should be part of the service. So I want to be clear on my statement on that negotiation on the contract. I do remember that being on that last page.
so that is something that I will talk to CPM about, the fact that they need to advertise that, and make sure that that's known to everyone. It's not likely they're going to change it, but it still probably should be put out in a method that people would understand it and know that it's coming. I think that's one of the things that Dave is trying to get across is if you know that it's there,
See,
they probably would have sold it for more money.
I asked them before, I said, I don't even need to go to close. I mean, if you don't want to sell this lot, please, I don't want to even go close because this is not what I expected for you. At all.
So, once Mary Lou stops writing,
Her pen's on fire.
You don't stop talking.
she will go through the people that we have received resumes for the nominations for the open board positions. And there are how many?
Ten.
No,
No.
how many open board positions?
Oh, there's 4 positions, 3 for 3-year term and 1 for 1-year term. Yeah, there's 10 running.
All right, go ahead.
Amy Ham, Joseph, how do you say his last name?
Keller, I believe.
Keller. Ryan, help me out, Scott. Ryan
Ocho.
Ochoa. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, Tammy Tyndall, Michael Vaughn, Michael Martin, Dennis Swantner, Deb Anderson, Elaine Haynes, and Jose Lopez.
One.
I'm sorry. What did I say? Sheriff.
Jose.
I was wondering where last names like Smith and Jones went.
Are you gonna have one of those, are we gonna have one of those, like, community gathering, meet the candidates? I thought that was really a good exercise, to meet the candidate where the community could gather and ask their candidates questions. Are we gonna?
It's up to the board whether they want to do that. I don't know whether it was the board that put it on or whether it was the HOA. They've been both board, okay. So, yes, I think it's a good idea. I would prefer to find a date that's not so blistering hot that one.
The vote's in September.
It's in September, so we would probably do it probably more into the August timeframe. I don't remember last year how long it was prior to the election. Was it 2 weeks?
A couple of weeks.
2 weeks.
It seems like Labor Day weekend. I mean, that's like 2 weeks before.
So weekend after that.
It would be after the Labor Day. So, yes.
I think that's a good idea.
We will, and the pavilion is probably the easiest place because you can accommodate more people if necessary. And we'll just have to give up there.
September we said.
Can I ask another question?
Go ahead.
Another unrelated question. I've been asked this several times. The one ballot item is about this, I don't know what to call it, a $10,000 I don't wanna call it a surcharge, I don't know what the term, what would you like to
The
call it?
fee for a spec house to pay for our roads.
So $10,000 fee. I've been asked, is that in addition to the
Yes.
$8,500? So the builder would pay
$18,000, yes,
$18,500.
yes.
Okay.
For our roads, I hear more complaints about dump trucks and people building houses. I hear more complaints about dump trucks and people building houses throughout the general community, and they say we need to have more money for our roads. This is a way to do it. They could go somewhere else and build a house. We have a lake, we have a golf course, and golf courses.
God, I'm not.
No, I'm just saying.
I have an opinion. I didn't say
Well,
anything. I just
you
asked the question.
We need money for the roads.
And that was the reason behind it, that
Okay.
if it's a specification,
Spec house.
spec house, and there's another terminology that the lawyer used.
If they build a spec house and somebody moves into it within a year, then do they?
No, you pay the $10,000 up front, and if a person who has to live in it for a year, if you build your house and you don't pay the $10,000 fee up front, but a spec house is when, just like all these houses that Will Bill builds, he starts it, there's nobody in it, he starts it, they buy it, no, he's gonna pay the $10,000 before he starts, and then if he sells it before, it's rain trees.
And then somebody who owns the lot and works with the builder to build the house they're going to live in, they do not have to.
There's no fee.
The speculative homes are homes that are built with these expectation that they're gonna make a profit.
I
And they,
understand.
you know, they do make good profit in here, and
I understand. I'm just asking for clarification
Yeah.
because several
No.
people have asked.
that's why.
I don't have an opinion on all these things. I'm simply asking questions that I get from the
That's
community.
fine. I'm just trying to make sure we all are clear on this. Anything else in new business? Then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I second that.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Open forum is now open, and I will remind you that you have a 2-minute limit. Please present your question concisely. Raise your hand and be identified prior to starting. Yes, sir.
David Getty, I'm sorry, I just had two things. I'm sorry for interrupting earlier, I just wanted to kind of, on the road cuts, especially on the burrowing, the utility companies have to approve it and inspect it, so it does have to meet several requirements. I can try to get those for the next meeting if you'd like, Kent. Also, on ACC, there are explicit rules in the rules manual about what we can charge people who do projects without approval or whatever. And there was, it used to be $25 or $50 a day once they don't comply after a certain amount of time. But 99% of the time, as you said, you tell them and they can just, you know, they'll pay probably just a deposit, or not the deposit, but the refund amount, like we did that one person. So that's one way. On the CPM thing, on this 420, because I thought it was 400 or something last year, but maybe that's something else. But I know it said that, you know, that there's a cost assessment when we have somebody in the office. And, you know, we were talking about it's an added fee for the property owner. But let's remember, the property owner, you know, paid for CPM in their assessments already, whether it's the office staff or if it's community property management. And so whether it's the old office or the new office, it didn't cost $420. And I'm just curious, do you know what that $420 is?
It was a 400 to CPM, and then it
Oh,
was
that's right.
$20
Okay, there
to
was that.
another company, and it said condo cert. And in my eyes, what does the condo cert have anything to do with this lot?
Because I know that they paid for something in the office that was very small, well, it was $400, and they got, you know, there's whatever services that they provide for them. But, you know, you kind of already pay for that in the assessments. But, so you're saying we don't really know what the $400 part of that goes
It
to?
went straight to CPM.
But they, so
As far as they're saying, it was for searching if they owed money for back subdivision fees or anything.
okay, thank you very much.
Next, lady in the back from the green shirt. It's great.
Could someone read loudly the names again? Because I didn't get them all. The nominees.
Can we just send them out?
Read loudly.
Amy Ham. Joseph Kellett is Kellett. Ryan,
He knows how to pronounce his last name.
his last name is
Pretty sure he says it
Ochoa. Tammy Tyndall,
Mike Vaughn,
Michael, he's got down, Michael Vaughn. Michael Martin, Martin. Dennis Schwantner. Deb Anderson. Elaine Hayes, Hayes. And Juan. Juan Lopez, Lopez.
Thank you.
What happened to Tammy Tyndall?
She said it.
Oh, she
said
said
it.
Yeah.
Who'd you ask about?
Oh,
You
yeah,
said it.
I got Tammy Tyndall.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I was, sorry I wasn't able to make the meeting that you had on Saturday, but I just have a question. I know with lakes and beaches, there had been talk at one time about, I know that some of the coves are starting to get pretty bad. Have we looked into the runoff situation, the conservation, like Scott, the little traps to try to keep stuff from coming into the
I
lake?
know in the building situation, they've been doing that, but just not going around to the ditches, we haven't done that yet. I've done it on 2 ditches on Waterford to keep the water from, put the black silk up.
It was brought up that we should look into an overall wastewater management, and we will look into that, but it won't happen this year.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna suggest that at the meeting and I wasn't able to make it.
Because we don't have a wastewater management system here. We have sewers, but we don't have storm sewers. And there's a difference.
Well, there's like the runoff, like in our code, it used to be like organic stuff, but now it's getting to be, because of all the building and construction, a lot of gravel. So that is something that's gonna be, like, you're gonna have to dredge, we're gonna have to dredge to eventually.
Okay, gentleman behind you.
Yeah, Randy Clark. I heard you talking about replacing the guardrail on the dam that's on Lake. Could you look at the one on Spring, because it's just as bad.
There's guardrails there, isn't there? And a fence?
Well, I'm talking about the fence at the bottom, a little kid can slip through there really easily because of the fencing.
And the gap in there?
It gives about 2 feet.
Maybe we need to put some shock rock in there, or some kind of rock to hold.
Well, no, you can't do that. It's on the spillway.
Oh, it's on the spillway?
Yeah.
We'll have to look at it and see about it.
Please do. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Lori Heller. Hal, this is for you. Last month I had asked if we could maybe get a detailed P&L from CPM similar to this, but showing last year to date versus this current year to date. I was wondering if you had checked with them, because I just feel like it would be much easier to kind of see how we're doing if we could get that detail.
I have not had an opportunity to talk to them about,
Okay, because I think they could probably easily just push that out with their system. I don't think it should be a big deal. It's important to me, I don't know if anyone else, but the other thing is, if you look on the operating expenses, account 7175, it's credit card expense, That's not typically a P&L expense. Usually it's reconciled and you have all the expenses that were charged on the credit card. So it may just be that they hadn't reconciled yet, but I would probably ask that too.
To break it down, she just had credit card, I think, and she didn't break down what it was for.
Right, so like if you used it for gas or you used it for maintenance supplies, that should be broken out into the P&L, not lumped in something that says credit card expense.
We'll ask Mindy to do that.
Okay. Okay.
Well, and those are the type of things that I will go to Bobby to try to get additional information. Bobby is the CFO of CPM, and she does most of this, and periodically will come in, although I don't always know when she's going to be here, and I do have we'll have a meeting set up with them, not this month, but early next month.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
My name's Betsy Harlan. I had the opportunity to volunteer to help in the office prior to the 4th of July to help out Haley with the sticker rush, because there's always a sticker rush. Everybody waits till the very last minute. And I want to say that people that came in here, they love CPM. They like Stan a lot. They were so glad that they could get online and pay their bill. If we just set up an account for them, they loved it because it was automatic, and most of them waited till the day or the day after their assessments were due to pay their assessments. So they really loved it. So I have to tell you, I helped out last year and I helped out this year. Last year when I was in there was stacks of stuff all over the floor, waiting to be filed, checks laying all over, waiting to be paid, and everything like that. And this year, it was gone. And I even had the opportunity to sweep the floor in there because I said, when is the housekeeper coming in here? Because the floor is so dusty. And she said, well, they're not coming. They aren't. So I said, I'll sweep the floor. So I just wanted to say that there is some very positive attitude in the community for CPM, and they do seem to be working very well with the community, and they like it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Harlan.
Yes, I need to approach the board. I got a couple pictures. May I?
Yeah,
Sure.
I got 2 minutes, so.
I quick, quick. And I got a sample too. Anyway, these two pictures is the edge of the dam going in.
And I did look at it.
Okay. Well, I just took those. Saturday, so I'm gonna go up to those.
No, I mean, I looked at the dam.
Okay, well, I'm right there. And these pictures here, this is probably some of the damage. You put these in your record that you saw. And this is called spa concrete. And you probably saw this. You know, this is, put this in the record too, if you want.
Smallest pieces of the dam.
Yeah, that's all top. That's why it's doing. That's why it's doing. And there you go, clock is ticking. Well, that's it.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted, about CPM, how much did you say that cost a year?
Approximately $14,000 a month,
Okay.
$140,000 a month, $140,000 a year.
Why does my check have to go to Arizona and New Mexico? Why can't I pay it right here? Bring that up to CPM.
All right, okay.
That's all.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Is that me?
Yes. Make sure.
I just have one question. Where is Karen?
You already had one question.
Where is Karen Bill?
She had to leave.
She leaves every single meeting before anybody ever gets to ask her a question. She never opens her mouth until tonight. This is the first time I've ever heard her speak. I'd just like to know why it is that she gets to leave immediately and doesn't ever participate in anything.
think she participates a lot.
On the road
So
committee.
I don't know.
Well, if she does, we don't know it, because we don't ever hear what she thinks. She doesn't ever engage in any discussion or anything. And I noticed her here a couple of times reading a magazine. So I would like to know why she why she can't stay.
Mrs. Harlan, did you run for the board this year?
No, I did not.
Why not?
Because I don't want to deal with this.
Okay, enough said. Yes, sir.
I have 4 questions. About 5 months ago,
Need to use a little more diaphragm, please.
about 5 months ago, the no-wake buoy drifted off. And my wife and I and my neighbor on 3 different occasions almost been killed by people. Not people probably on our lake, but people coming in. They fly up and down, they don't pay attention to what they're doing. And I was told on 3 different occasions that they would be put in there. Right before the 4th of July, we were told the buoys would be put in there on the Tuesday.
I didn't have it, I apologize.
So today, I got the new rims to build the new anchors to hold the buoys.
If you need help, I'll help you.
If you want to pour the concrete in them,
Yeah.
and I would literally tomorrow I'll be bringing home the bottom base that the cables are tied to. We'll split that cable through it and then we'll concrete it all together. We have to be extremely careful setting these also, because once that goes down in the water, I mean, well, it'll take anybody in to drown them if somebody gets tied up in this cable.
I also understand that there's certain points within the lake where they have to actually be put.
Yes, and if there is any scuba divers in Raintree that want to help, I'm all for that.
And there's on that, we've got a map back in the office, and I know some people's not gonna be happy with the placement. This is the ski lake. And then the boards in the past, all the buoys just kept coming out towards the middle of the lake and not in the coves. And there's nowhere to start and stop. So when we adjust the buoys, they're gonna come back into the coves a little bit like they're supposed to be on the main plat. Because it's a ski lake, you gotta have a spot to start and stop. And if all the buoys are at the end of the cove and everybody's going like this, where do you start and stop? So when we place the buoys, we're gonna have people saying, hey, this buoy wasn't here. We've got record where it has to go, and it needs to be because it's a ski lake.
The main point is it shouldn't take 5.
I know, I apologize, but
5
most
months
people
to
know
get
where
it.
it's at.
Okay. Scott, you listen to what I said.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the people that are on the lake.
Right.
A lot of visitors come in the lake.
Yeah.
People don't pay attention.
Your time's up, but you can ask another question
Okay.
after.
My next question is, this truck or whatever hit this brick out here, is that ever gonna get fixed?
It's in the process. We've got insurance turned in. We've got their insurance. We've got bids. The guy's 6 weeks behind. I've got all the documentation that's been turned in. Would you like to see it? I've got the police report and everything.
Listen, Scott, you don't have to be so condescending when
No,
people
I'm
ask
just-
a question. Yeah, you are. Whatever, who
I
it is?
apologize.
I just asked a simple question.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes,
that's
it is
one.
in the process.
Number 2, my next one is, and I'll help out here, is these columns, they're neat, they need to be painted. And if the place wants to buy the paint, I'll come in on a Saturday if some other people want to volunteer and paint these columns. I think it would look nice in here. Somebody put flags up, 4th of July, I thought that was really neat, I thought it looked good.
Maintenance
It would look
to it.
more vibrant if the columns were painted white. And the last comment I have is, I'm glad these people have garage sales. But this past weekend, on this main drive down here, I actually had to drive off the concrete or the asphalt into bushes to go around cars that were parked right in the middle of the road in front of this guy's house. And we need to have some kind of, I shouldn't have to drive my vehicle off the roadway into bushes to go around other cars. And when one car, there's 4 cars in a row. And
Was it one single house or multiple houses?
I'm sorry?
Was it one single house or multiple houses?
It was just a house 3/4 of the way down the hill. He's in a bad spot, but I don't know if it's a situation where people need to park more on the right side so you can go by them. You know, and more I notice that when I'm coming home or late at night, I know we're in Jefferson County, but these more and more people parking all over the grass and stuff. Is that permissible here?
I've always asked everybody, please park in the driveways, and I ask them to look around. Almost everybody in here uses their driveways. I understand if there's a party or something and you're gonna have a lot of cars, but you still gotta be respectful, and you're right, columns pretty much a one-lane drag. They really gotta figure out, if you're gonna have cars there, they really need to be off, you know.
I get it, I'm just saying in the future, maybe somebody could put something out, just saying, hey, be respectful and make sure people are talking on the roadway.
Yeah, we could have CPM shoot that out.
Gentleman in the blue shirt.
Thank you. We're spending money on dredging, and it seems to me like we're treating the symptom without treating the cause. Any reply?
Well, I don't know that we're saving money for dredging, and we're looking into developing a stormwater process, which will have to be in place before we do the dredging. So I'm not sure I understand your question.
Well, in dredging, you're pulling rocks and debris and whatever out.
I understand dredging.
Okay. You're kind of, you pull that out and a year later it's filled in.
If you don't maintain your stormwater system, the dredging is not going to do any good.
Correct.
We're aware of that. Yes.
What are we gonna do? I mean, I know you're looking into it, but is there any specifics or can you give us any?
There's nothing specific yet because we don't have a plan in place. I mean, this has been going on for many years.
We have addressed the builders that failed to do the silt fences, and we got them up as soon as we could, but there was a couple that some of that mud did get past that down, but I don't know if that mud made it all the way to the lake or not.
Yeah, well, the rock, mud and rocks, I'm sorry.
Harlan?
Robert Hart, I got a maintenance request for 3 large potholes on Forest Drive.
You don't have to come to the board meeting to put a maintenance request in.
Okay.
You can do that through the portal.
Okay, that's all right, I've already submitted. Now, what's this potential ballot items for September 2025 about allow ATVs and UTVs? Is that on the ballot?
As I explained to you on Saturday, that was a requested ballot item and it will go on the ballot. If you do not like it, don't vote.
I think it's going to be a real big mistake. And also, and then on this allow owners to build ACC approved concrete and asphalt driveways, garage, concrete patios, fire pit, on lot, and you'll allow passenger vehicles, boat trailers, RV trail, campers would be allowed. That would really be a big mistake too. Because
don't vote for it.
I won't.
Gentleman behind you.
How tall is this apparatus on the front of the tractor that trims the bushes? How tall is it?
It's 6 foot long, and then it goes on the tractor, and it goes high as you raise the tractor. It goes on the bucket of the tractor.
Roughly 12 feet?
Yeah, every bit of 12 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be amazing. It would be a time saver.
That's what we need.
For $2,300, they could do an unreal amount in a week.
I get it. But what are we gonna do with the branches that are bigger than the 1.5 inches?
Well, right now, we've got a dump. In the past, we have a chipper, and it's never ran. Rain Tree's had it for 3 years, and the starter's been broke. So we're gonna get it going. But right now, we've got a compost pile for nothing but trees that they trim, and we've got a convenient spot where we put them every day.
So there's a hole saws, and then also if it's stuff that the guys don't feel comfortable with, we don't ask anybody to do anything that they're not comfortable with. That's where we bring the tree service in, I think.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't like the idea of the dump truck in the back of that thing. That was not good. But then on the other, I have another question here, if I still have time, is if this ATV, how are we going to enforce the speed limit? I mean, we can't enforce it now.
Same way we enforce it with the cars.
We don't enforce those now.
Well, you just heard most people drive. Somebody said that most people in here drive the speed limit, so. I don't know why people are so upset with things that haven't passed yet.
Okay, I still have time.
You still have 22 seconds.
22 seconds, okay. Could we get a member of the CPM in here? And, I mean, because it sounds like you guys don't know what they're all encompassing, and we don't know what it is. If maybe we could get them in here and have a bunch of questions and get some answers.
I've had people here before, and I will bring them back.
Yeah, 'cause it seems like, I mean, even our board doesn't know what they're doing or capable of doing.
Okay. You, then you.
So Scott, on the buoys, I just want to tell you, you know, I was on Lakes and Beaches and I set the buoys several times with Tom Hayes and others, you know, and Tom always went out there with his GPS because they got the GPS things in there, and we put them things right on the spot where the things were, and people bitched about it. I'm just telling you flat out, they complained about it. They said they were too far in.
Right, well,
and
they're
then
in when we put them in.
and then they, and they
want to
wanted
ski
them.
lake if you don't want to ski.
100 feet.
You know, and you know, so I'm just telling you.
I know
know,
where it's at, it's marked, and I got the GPS.
Yeah, we went out there, I mean, and we were GPS
Fred
it all the
Roman's
way.
gonna go nuts.
Second thing is, how many sensors have we sent out this year? How much money have we gotten? How much money have we gotten from people knocking down the gates? I guess is my main
About
thing.
$750, I think, on gates that I've selected.
How much?
$750.
Good for you. You know, I'm serious. I didn't even know that we were getting any money at all.
I go up and I got two ways that I do it. I go up and I knock on their door when they do it, and I got the sheriff and I said, you know, I got the video showing them what they did. Everybody writes a check on the spot, so the police aren't involved. And I give the check to CPM.
Good for you, Scott. No, seriously. And Scott, and I want to tell you, you have exceeded my expectations as a board member. Seriously, okay? You've done a very nice job with the lakes and bushes and everything. You really have, okay? However, to this gentleman's point, you do become very conventional at
I
times.
get attacked with the main attacker in here.
You know, but you do become very, you get very defensive at times, and you shouldn't. You know, you shouldn't. You know. My last thing. How many people on the board think that having side-by-sides in here is a good thing? I mean, do we really think that having side-by-sides coming in here is a good thing? How many people really think that tearing up our roads and having noisy things going around? Wait, no,
your time is up.
Okay, I'll come circle back around to me.
Okay, I have two things. One is to Mr. Clark, who got two bids on the fencing at the dam, at the spillway. Or did you get these as written bids, or did you just talk with somebody?
I got written bids, and the $5,000 guy, I got a voicemail from him telling me that.
Okay,
I've got one written bid, I've got one that they never got back with me, and I'll have the other guy, I'll write him a check for $5,000 and I'll have him give me a bid.
He's gonna charge you $5,000 to give you a
Yes,
bid.
ma'am, they want $5,000 to give me a bid.
That's the first time you've called me ma'am in your whole life. Thank you, Scott. Another thing is when you vote on the ballot items on the ballot, I've been here going on 23 years and they've always discussed them as the board in front of the people so we could see who we wanted to vote for our next election. We would hear their opinions. So as Kent said, how many people on the board said, yes, put that on the ballot because we think that's a good thing to put on the ballot. It's usually voted on the board first. And I think you guys did that maybe via email to each other or something. I don't know how it happened because I never came to a meeting where everybody was sitting there discussing each item on whether or not the pros and cons.
Correct.
So the reason why I liked it is because of the restrictions. I was forced to buy a golf cart that I didn't want, but it's the only thing that I could get in here. At least with a UTV or something like that, I can abide by the rules here, but I can take that vehicle elsewhere to go play. I can't do that with a damn golf cart. So I like the idea as a responsible adult.
And you can also drive an ATV.
You can.
You can also drive an ATV on county letter roads. So you can go from here to Hillsborough with your ATV and be totally legal, and there is a state legislature is working for a statewide rule on side-by-sides and ATVs on lettered roads, not numbered roads.
I believe Hillsborough and DeSoto have done the stickers for side-by-sides on the streets.
So Dave Stallo, you're for it,
Well,
for that item?
I kind of want to stay neutral, but I will tell you, Nancy, that I do have one, and I do not have a golf cart. Would I like to drive it around in here at 20 mile an hour? If the community votes for it, I would do that.
All right, well, you're part of the community, so you will be voting for it.
Right.
So that's why the items are discussed in front of
Yeah.
the residents.
Your time is up.
So no one else is gonna answer
Nancy,
that?
in the May minutes, wait a minute, I take that back, it's the June minutes. The board approved to put certain items to the lawyer, and it's in a copy of the minutes.
But what she's saying is we discussed them individually, and that did not happen.
No, that was a blanket. It was a blanket.
It did not happen.
That was wrong.
That's why I chose not to vote, because I thought we should discuss it
No discussion
individually.
on
No,
it.
there wasn't.
But I feel like the residents should know how our board is voting on certain things, whether they're farming or.
The residents, everybody has the right to vote. I don't want to steer anybody, Nancy, and I know you're trying to kind of push this, and you kind of want the community to vote how they want to vote. It doesn't have nothing to do with this board will put this out there for them to vote yes or no on it. You know, we have community spots to enter the lake and stuff around that needs to be opened back up. Access points, we've got several on the big lake that need to be done. You know, everything needs to be voted on by the people, and all of us working together as this place is intended to be.
So in your opinion, is the board here to help guide the community and set them up for the future, 5 and 10 years?
It is, but it's not my job to steer them how to vote.
No, but to allow something to be go to vote, you don't think that that's our responsibility as a community?
Can I say something?
As a board?
Putting the items on the ballot, which come from board members, it comes from the community. The board's role is to evaluate that item.
Correct.
Does it hamper business? Is it illegal? Does it create conflict? And sometimes that's missed. It's not whether we agree or disagree with the item and would we vote yes or no for the item. It's a matter of, does it fit to
Totally agree.
to go on the ballot. And, you know, whether we vote yes or no to it individually is their own individual right and vote, whether you want to share it or not.
Okay.
All of this vote is, you know, did the lawyer review it? Is it going on the ballot? That's it. It doesn't mean that the board is for it. It doesn't mean the board's against it.
Because a lot of these came from the community.
I understand, I totally understand.
But I do want to say that I want to see us as a whole prosper. With all the, no matter who votes for what, we still got to respect each other. And anybody that's not respecting and is the oddball of the group, as a community, you know, we can take care of that. But you've got to be part of that too.
Okay, you've got 2 minutes and you're the last one.
It's just a matter of leadership, in my opinion. If you really think that this is a good thing for the community, you should go ahead and push for it. But if it's a bad thing, it shouldn't be even on the ballot. I mean, it really shouldn't be on the ballot, in my opinion. That's just bottom line. And it comes down to, we elect you people to make good judgment, good decisions on what needs to be on the ballot, on everyday decisions. And I'm just telling you that having side-by-sides, and trust me, there's no way that you're going to be able to enforce any speed limit. Oh, I heard that they got to be 21 years or older. What are you freaking kidding me? I mean, who's going to enforce?
I didn't hear that either.
No, well, I heard that in the May meeting. I believe it was brought up that, oh, well, it will only be 21 years or older that will run these things. And
Ride them on the road.
I'm just, it's a bad decision. it shouldn't even be on ballot, in my opinion. It really shouldn't. I understand, hey, you want to get everybody's opinion, but I mean, I'm just, as leadership, it's a terrible decision. That's it, done.
We're done, 8:30.